Hello and welcome back to Minecraft Playingness. This is the 46th episode. Are you excited? I'm excited. It's the 46th episode, and you know what that means? Oh, it means it's the 46th episode. Nothing else, nothing more, nothing less, nothing in between. Unless you read in between the lines, in which case you will see whatever's in between the lines. And I'm not an expert on what that is, so I cannot give you any idea or indication as to what that may be. But it's gonna be good, that's all I know. Oh shit, look, it's one of those black things that steal blocks from the floor. Hey, that's... No, I was gonna say, I'm not being racist or anything, because a lot of people don't like racism, but then I just realized actually that I wasn't being racist by making a genuine analytical statement about the Enderman, because the Enderman is black and it does steal things. That is something that Mojang did, and they made them strong as well, which is another stereotypical thing of blacks peoples. Fuck. Right. Okay. Stereotyping. I do not believe in stereotyping, but I believe that certain stereotyping is not exactly stereotyping if it's true. For example, to say that French people are French, that's not racist because it's true. So it's like just think about what you're saying, and don't go overboard by saying racist when something is really not racist. Or it may be racist, but don't try and say that something's offensive if it doesn't offend you. If it does offend you, then don't get offended by it. But don't go around the internet saying don't say that because it's offensive. If it doesn't offend you, leave it alone. If it does offend you because it's like talking about something that you have, say if it says people who eat cheese are retarded, just ignore it. And if you're a vegan and you see people who eat cheese are retarded, and you say on that, hey, I know some people that eat cheese, that's offensive, just think, well, no, just ignore that. Who cares? Just it's offensive if you get offended by it. Just don't get offended by it. It's what somebody thinks. If they're wrong about what they think, then let them be wrong. You don't have to tell them they're wrong. You know, sometimes these kind of things just baffle me. I don't understand why people get so offended by things. Like 9/11, for example. The attacks of 9/11 on the World Trade Centers, where there were aeroplanes flown into them which exploded, and for some reason people seem to get very upset when you talk about the attacks that happened on 9/11. I don't understand why, because it's just something that happened. Why is it offensive to make fun of it? It's more offensive to say that it is offensive, because it isn't offensive. It's not offensive to anyone. It's offensive if you get offended by it, but just choose not to be offended by it. How can you be offended by some planes flying into a building? Honestly. And the one instance where I think people should be affected by those attacks are, I suppose, if somebody they knew was killed in that, but it's like, well, somebody that somebody knows is killed all the time. I mean, people's grandparents die of old age. People who they might even be young people who die of like illnesses such as AIDS or cancer, and it's like people die all the time. You don't need to be so sensitive about death. It's been happening for quite a while now, and I would think that people are used to it, but apparently not. And also, I mean, this is the common argument that people give for like 9/11 and stuff. They say, well, yeah, it sucks, but then think how many times your country has, like the American country, or any country, I suppose, really, that has had a reasonable amount of military power, how they go and whatever, like kill people. I mean, you don't start saying, hey, don't say that's offensive about those things. Oh no, you know what I'm saying. Just what I'm saying is, don't get offended by things. You can control the world around you by controlling your perception of the world, which is it's a Zen thing. It's Mahayana Buddhism. Zen is, which is just changing life by the way you perceive it. So don't let bad things affect you. I mean, obviously some negative things will affect you, but it's up to you whether you see them as being bad things or not, because good and bad is all a matter of opinion and perspective. And don't tell me that morality and good and bad and stuff, that it's all the same. No, everyone, it's all opinion. There's no statemented fact. If you believe there's a God that makes a statemented fact about good and bad, and you're wrong, because there are some people who don't have the, let's say, the common morality, common ethics. For example, I know it's used a lot, but Adolf Hitler, who was one of the leader of the Nazi Party from the 30s and the 40s, 1930, 1940, around that time. For example, his idea of right and wrong was just as valid as anyone's idea of right and wrong in terms of humanity, but it's just that his ideas of right and wrong seem to conflict with the majority. He conflicted with the majority, but it doesn't make him any less right, but equally doesn't make him any less wrong. So it doesn't make us any less right or wrong. It's just that, well, I don't know. This is getting into utilitarianism and the concept of a utopian life. Like, what is utopia? Is it about pleasing the most people, or is it about pleasing everybody? Because you can please all of the people some of the time, but you can't please. You can please all of the people some of the time, and you can please some of the people all of the time, but you can't please all of the people all of the time. Which I sort of disagree with, but the only way that you can actually get that is if you think back to like the Stone Age, or even before the Stone Age, where life was very simple. With complicated lives like we have now, utopia is impossible, because there's just too much stuff going on. There's too much technology. There are too many advanced weapons. The population is too high. There are like laws and governments, that kind of thing. It's like, no, utopia is impossible unless we go back to living in a simplistic way, which is why I think fantasy is way better than real life. Games are better than life, books are better than real life, films are better than real life, anime is better than real life, manga is better than real life. Everything is better because if it's different, it's better. Because reality sucks, which I know it's kind of like an escapism and whatever, but you know, sometimes the reason for escapism is as valid as it's valid as fuck, man. Real life sucks, so go and immerse yourself in fake life. It's only as fake as you believe it to be. Like I was saying, the Zen concept, it's not really built for this, but it works. The Zen concept of changing your perception of things to effectively affect how it affects you. What the fudge cruddin? Why is this outro music playing? This is strange. I'm gonna end the episode here and see what's going on. But this has been Minecraft Playingness, and yeah, I'm worried, but I am Zirkzank. Watch the other episodes. I'm sure it'll be fixed by then. Goodbye.